Yo, what is going on, everybody? I am back. This is the first video I made in over a month. I'm very excited to get back to it, but let's get right into it right away. So, the UFC just announced Israel Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer for Seattle on March 28th. This is a good fight, man. I was expecting them to put Pyfer against Robert Whitaker. I thought that was the fight to make, and it was gonna be good for them both. I feel like that was the right move to make in their direction, but this is also a great fight too, man. I can't complain. This fight is fucking sick. Joe Pyfer, Israel Adesanya should be a good one. I'm not gonna make any predictions until closer to the fight, obviously, but yeah, it's cool. It's exciting, and the other fight that they have announced for this card is Alexa Grasso and Macy Barber. This is a rematch. I believe Grasso won last time. I might be wrong, but I believe Grasso won the fight the last time. They're running it back. Macy Barber, 7-fight win streak, pretty insane. Even in the division she's in, and she's the number 5 ranked contender now. And Alexa Grasso coming off 2 losses to Valentina Shevchenko and Natalie Silva. She's lost both those fights. Obviously, coming back. If she loses this fight, it will be a 3rd loss in a row. So I don't think she's gonna want to be put in that position, because it's really hard to get a title shot after 3 losses in a row. Very hard, except unless you're Piotr Jan, and you can just freak max that. Some people are built differently, but these are the only 2 fights that they've announced for this card so far. I'm gonna make some suggestions right now, and I'm gonna put like a cute little PNG of whoever it's gonna be on the screen whenever that happens. But starting off, I think the card should open with Alexander Volkov and Curtis Blades too. Curtis Blades won the first one so long ago. That was like summer of 2020, maybe earlier 2020. But I think it's the perfect time to run it back. Curtis Blades coming off of that win against Rizvan Kuniev, I believe it is. And it was a close fight. He did get it done, I believe. And sorry about that. I had to yell at my cat about eating my phone charger because I just had to buy a new one today because of him. Anyway, where was I at? Curtis Blades hasn't competed in over a year. Last time out, he fought injured and won. And I think it's time for him to come back. I think he looks really well in health now. And I think it's been enough time to the point where he can healthily come back. So I think we should book that fight right now. Alexander Volkov, Curtis Blades 2. Winner might get a title shot, because there's a few crazy things that I think are going to happen in the heavyweight division this year. So it'd be a little rough for either of that winner to be convincingly getting a title shot. Obviously, with Volkov getting submitted in like 2 minutes by Aspinall, and Curtis Blades got knocked out in a minute after. But he did win that first one, technically. He has that TKO, technically, so it's pretty cool. Wouldn't really work to get either of them a title shot, I don't think. But especially because I believe Alex Pereira is going to go up later this year. And I think him and Gon are actually going to fight for the interim title. And I think that's a sick fight too, so I think they should do it. Moving on after that, maybe they could add like a Jeff Neal versus like a Daniel Rodriguez, maybe. Maybe a Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin Buckley hasn't fought since June also. So maybe that'd be the fight to make. Pretty good one. Jeff Neal obviously coming off that Carlos Pratas spinning elbow knockout. I believe that was in August of last year. So maybe now would be the healthier time for him to come back, a good time for him to come back. And Joaquin Buckley hasn't fought since he lost to Usman was that June or July? June or July. And I think that'd be kind of a good fight too, honestly. Who was the last person Daniel Rodriguez fought? Was it Kevin Holland? Yeah, it was Kevin Holland that Daniel Rodriguez beat so long ago now. Because he hasn't fought also since that fight. Hasn't been so long. There's been people with longer breaks, but still. And then the final fight I'd probably move or have to this fight card right here, or I'd add, is Peyton Talbot versus Amin Zahabi. That'd be a pretty good one. You can get Amin Zahabi, because let's be real here, the UFC does not want him in the top 10. They do not want him near the title shot. And let's just be honest, Peyton Talbot's a bigger name. This is a winnable fight for both of them. I think Zahabi would get pieced up on the feet, and he would get all of his takedowns stuffed probably by Peyton Talbot. I think Zahabi's a worse wrestler. Maybe striker? Nah, not striker. Maybe striker than Henry Cejudo. And I think Peyton Talbot would dog him like he just dogged Henry Cejudo. Yeah, and those are the fights that I'd probably add to this card. There's a lot of fights since I've last been active. Hold on, let me just show you guys, man. Last fights since I've been active. Last fights I talked about was Lopez versus Alexander Volkanovski. And man, has this card really just shined since and glimmered since. Look at this. Dan Hooker, Benoit Saint Denis, Rafael Fiziev, Mauricio Rufy. That's great too. Tai Tuivasa is back for the first time in how long? Over a year, and he's back against the number 15 Talishun Taxira. Good fight for both, I believe. Winnable for both. Obviously, any fight is winnable when you got one hitter quitter power in these heavier weight classes. And then moving on, we got Jimmy Crute versus Dustin Jacoby. Good fight also. I don't think this is the current fight anymore. I don't think it's Killian Salkeld versus Rongju anymore. I believe it's Killian Salkeld versus Jamie Mullarkey. Also a sick fight. It'd be kind of funny if if Jamie Mullarkey is the one to beat Killian Salkeld. I don't think he will. I think Killian Salkeld's probably gonna chin him, but it'd be funny because then he'd kind of be full circle. This is definitely the next Drew Dober over here. But yeah, I think that's a good fight. It's no longer Rongju, I believe, unless I'm wrong, and maybe it was the opposite way around. And then we got Junior Tafa, the Tafa brother that is still fighting, obviously, and Billy Alakana. Decent fight. None of these guys really have all that much, but whatever. This is also a pretty decent fight. Cam Ralston versus Cody Brundage. Sorry, I didn't want to completely skip over the names. And then we got Jacob Malkoon versus Torres Finney. Torres Finney's probably the most boring fighter I've ever seen in my lifetime. Dude has like 2 finishes in his whole career. But he's... I believe he won his first UFC fight by decision. Go figure. Alright, moving on. Then we got, in the earlier prelims, Jonathan McAuliffe versus Oben Elliott. I believe Oben Elliott took his first UFC loss and now is fighting Jonathan McAuliffe, who's undefeated, maybe only 1-0 in the UFC, but still a good fight. Khan Ofli, I'm gonna try my hardest to pronounce these names, guys. Work with me here. I'm only an American. Yizha. Also good, sick fight. Sang-Woo Kim versus Dom Mar Fan. Pretty good fight. And then, yeah, the rest are nobodies. This dude's tattoo's freaking sick, though. Then after that, they announced Batista versus Oliveira. Also a good main event. Winner of these two will probably climb the rankings a little bit more this year. We'll probably see the winner of this fight end up at that number 7 position, number 6 maybe. That's right, I'm not saying it the opposite way around. Then we got Amir Albazi returning for the first time since his beatdown. Since getting beat down, I mean, by Brendan Moreno. And he's fighting Kuroji Horiguchi. And that's a good fight. That's a really good fight in the top 10 for the flyweight division. Then Ryan Spann is back fighting Rizvan Kuniev. Rizvan Kuniev, I believe, only had that Curtis Blades fight. Maybe he's had a fight after. But Ryan Spann, Rizvan Kuniev, pretty decent fight. Ryan Spann, obviously former 205er. Maybe the lighter man scale will help him out in this one. Then we got Michael Alekchik versus Marc-Andre Barriault. Pretty good fight also. Yeah, then we got not Urine, oh my goodness. Urin Satibaldiev versus Julius Walker. Decent fight. Skipped all those fights, but then we got Bruna Brazil versus Ketlin Sueza. 2 Brazilians going at it. Love to see it. Wang Kong versus Eduarda Moara. Good fight also. Then we got Muin Gufarayov, the hairiest dude in the bantamweight division, versus Jacob Wakalats. He beat Patchy Mix last time out. Close fight he had with Patchy Mix, but he still beat him. And then Claudia Segula versus Priscilla. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Moving on to the next card that we miss. Please. There we go. Then the fight that I really wanted to see also got announced. Sean Strickland versus not Alexander, oh my goodness. Anthony Hernandez. Number 3 and number 4 in the division. This is a great fight for both. Sean Strickland coming off of that loss to DDP all the way like last year in February now. So it's going to be a year break for him. This is, I think, one of the longest breaks we've had from Sean Strickland. And Anthony Hernandez, what a guy. What a crazy gas tank this guy has, man. This fight will be a pretty good one, I think. Winner definitely not on the verge of a title shot for Sean Strickland, unfortunately. I think Sean Strickland would have to do more, but if oh my goodness, Anthony Hernandez gets this one done, I believe he'll get a title shot. Then we got Sergey Spivak versus Ante Delija. Delija's coming off that loss to Waldo Cortez Acosta, I believe. Nothing to be ashamed of there. Moving on, we got Dan Ige versus Malkizul Costa coming off that crazy head kick versus Morgan Charrier. And Dan Ige, obviously the third best gatekeeper of all time, maybe, if I can be quite frank with you guys. Might be one of those guys who's just able to stay in that position, that 14 range forever. If he knocks out Costa, I'm just going to say he's the best gatekeeper of all time. After we got Zach Reese and Michelle Pieta. Good fight also. These two are both kind of mediocre, so may the better mediocre man win, I guess. Moving on, we got Jacoby Smith and Seokion Ko. Both these guys are good prospects, man. I really don't want to see this fight kind of booked early. This fight's kind of booked early, honestly. Well, I'd love to see these guys fight as like ranked competition. But hey, that's what you gotta do sometimes, you know, fight whoever they put in front of you. I lean towards Jacoby Smith. I know I said I wouldn't do predictions, but Jacoby Smith is my favorite prospect out right now. And he seems to keep evolving, so we'll see what goes on and who wins this fight. Moving on. Jordan Levitt versus Yadier Deval. Pretty good fight also. Ode Osborne. Oh my goodness. Ode Osborne versus, is that Alibi? Alibi Ediris. Pretty decent fight. Chad Njokwani versus Carlos Neal. Carlos Neal popped for roids years ago and has lost most of those fights since. Moving on. Juliana Miller versus Carly Judas. Decent fight. Austin Vanderford versus John Paul Lebosignani. Maybe, is it these guys both debut? Maybe? Yeah, definitely this guy's debut. No way he's 1-0. I'll do my research for that fight when it comes closer. Yeah. Moving on. We got Nora Cornell versus Jocelyn Edwards. Decent fight. Jocelyn Edwards seems to actually try to finish people in the bantamweight division, which is cool. And then we got Alden Correa versus Luis Garul. Pretty cool fight also. Moving on to the next card. Stop just slightly going up, please. Oh my goodness. There we go. Moving on to the next card, we got Moreno versus Almabaya. Moreno just lost and is already back in there. Maybe that loss really was early. I don't think they actually have any crazy fights for this one yet. Yeah, this is the fight that sticks out the most to me so far. Kevin Borjas. You beat Rodriguez, brother. It's not that impressive. Rodriguez is ass, and I don't know why they pushed for him so much. This fight's kind of ass also, not gonna lie. Chris Montigno's back after being brutally knocked out for the second time in the UFC. Not second time, for the third time in the UFC, but only second, like first time really being knocked the hell out. This card is in Mexico. That's why they have Brandon Moreno as the main event, and this is a good fight, man. Most of these are pretty decent matchups, actually. This fight, I'm kind of confused on so far. Yeah. Kevin Green's very slow, but Daniel Zellhuber did just lose to MJ, but MJ's not too terrible, man. I think MJ would actually beat King Green right now, so. But yeah, none of these fights are really that crazy. Most of these guys' debuts. Well, not most. A lot of people's debuts, though. So yeah, pretty cool fight night that they put together right here. Moving on to another fight. Another fight card, finally. Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira 2. Holy moly, man. Thank God they finally booked this fight. This fight's insane. BMF. Okay, I forgot it was for the BMF belt, so I was concerned on, not really concerned, but I was questioning why the 3 was in the rank order. But yeah, it's these guys' second time fighting. First time was really just weird. I believe he tore Charles Oliveira's esophagus, and Charles Oliveira was unable to fight after that. And then I guess the co-main event is also a rematch, just a weight class up, man. Both these fights happened in the featherweight weight class, and now we're fighting in lightweight. That's crazy, man. Good theme. Moving on, Caio Borralho is back. I believe his last fight was that loss to Mavov, and so is Rainier de Ritter. His last loss was pretty recent. That was to Arnold Allen. Whatever. I don't think this fight is happening. This fight is not happening now. Paulo Costa has pulled out of this fight, and I think it's actually Gregory Rodriguez who's stepping up for this fight. Cool. That's really cool of him if he is, because Bruno Ferreira knocked him out last time. So good storyline. Then Cody Garbrandt's back, and he's fighting Xiao Long. Hopefully I said that right as I can. Luke Fernandez fighting Rodolfo Balado. Good fight also. Balado's coming off of that confusing... It was like a disqualification. It was a no contest, not a disqualification. My bad. I think that was him at least. Maybe I'm wrong. Is that right? Oh, it was a loss. Who did he lose to? I'll think about it later. Anyway, then we got Sumadaji versus Jesus Aguilar. Pretty good fight also. And yeah, I think that's it. Is that all they announced so far? This is all that's officially announced, I believe. And then they have 2 events. Huh. They don't have these 2 events determined, but they have this one. Really weird of the UFC to do that, but I get it, I guess. But for this one right here, to be determined versus to be determined. Hey, at least they have one fight. Maybe this actually is the main event, and I don't know about it. I mean, it is a Apex fight, so we'll see. But if not, maybe they could have the fight night main event be like Kevin Vallejos versus Josh Emmett. Maybe that'd be a good fight. Josh Emmett needs to put that ranking up on the line again against somebody with another striking prowess. This is kind of like a chance at him to get redemption from that Taporia fight. It's another great striker. But we'll see what they do. I don't think they'll do... Oh, yeah, right here. Then for the UK one, they can... Since they haven't booked it, maybe they can do Lerone Murphy versus Mazar Evloev for the main event there. And yeah, that's my little UFC recap right now. I hope you guys have a great night. I will see you guys very soon. I plan on making a ranked contenders video, like ranking on if they're going to get a title shot this year, or like the chances of if they're getting a title shot year video. And of course, like a video maybe thinking about the top fights I want to see this year. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.